Hey guys, it's Spacey Sims, and we are back with more Olympia Soiree, just continuing Kuroba's route. So, we were just gonna hang out at the beach. Oh my god, we're going to the beach with our boyfriend. We've already seen him half naked, so it's fine, I guess. Hopefully he doesn't start representing. Wow, he doesn't start referring to, like, oh, you're looking at my body. Don't do that, you embarrass us. Anyway. Look, there are blue devils here. Oh, they're pretty. They like to swim in shallow waters. They were so close I could scoop them into my hands. The small blue fish were moving hastily about. There's a butterfly fish over there. The other one you saw was a spotted boxfish. Butterfly fish, a fish that lives in the ocean near Tengu Island. It's generally yellow with a black band across its eyes as a way of defending itself from predators. Spotted boxfish, a fish that lives in the ocean near Tengu Island. The color of its body varies depending on gender, and they're able to excrete poisonous mucus when in danger. That sounds joyous. You're practically an encyclopedia. Well, I grew up on the island. I used to swim with my mother. My voice suddenly caught in my throat. Are you alright? A blue devil swam quickly by. Thoughts of life back on my island suddenly returned. You know about the Red Calamity, right? 13 years ago, a group of men broke restrictions and came to Tenyo Island. The women of the White committed suicide to preserve their sanctity. And the people who offered prayers and worship of Lady Amaterasu were gone, and darkness fell upon the world. And your mother was among them. I nodded briefly, then looked out at Tenyo Island. That's why I've decided to find happiness, no matter what. He nodded in reply, then gently patted me on the head. I'm sure you'll find happiness. I'm sure you will find happiness. That's probably more what he said, you know? And you're like, with you? Yes. His voice and smile were so gentle. Bert, what is your deal? You cannot push my headset off. Like, you're trying to, like, snuggle with my ear, but you can't. Get the headset on. You can't push it off. Just not how it works, silly bird. I wanted to find happiness with him. If we go a bit further out, we can probably find some Moorish idols. Let's go. He dove into the water with vigor and swam gracefully onward. He's actually a good swimmer. I guess I don't need to worry about him drowning. Yeah, he was just faking that because he just wanted to hang out at the beach with you. I looked out at Tenyo Island again. My homeland was so close, yet so far away. I see them! I found some Moorish idols! How wonderful! Aren't they pretty? Yeah, I never knew they'd be so beautiful out in the ocean. Kuroba, you know how to swim, don't you? I used to swim at that waterfall I took you to, but the color of the fish there isn't as vivid. Or maybe I wasn't paying attention. It's funny, because that looks very shallow, that waterfall. It's like ankle deep. Or just the angle that it's on. You know what I mean? Like, just the size of the background. It just seemed like very small. Not huge. Maybe I should swim at the waterfall, too. But swimming in the ocean is fun, right? Swimming in the ocean is terrifying. You don't know what's touching you. You don't know when a fucking giant squid's gonna come up and eat. You don't know what's in there. There could be sharks. Fucking fish can nibble your toe. Look, I just... No. Open water. Scary. I like water. Don't get me wrong. But it's like... No, unless it's like a pool or something. I don't want to wear bathing suits, though. Because I just don't, like... I don't feel comfortable in bathing suits. But also, like, the ocean. Like, let's go jump in the... You don't know what's in that. Riptides get ripped out. You're going to die. There's going to be a shark right there. You don't fucking know. Unless you can see... When you're standing, like, look, I can see my feet and I can see out. No. Fuck that shit. No. Lakes? God, no. Alligators? No. Water is fuck that shit. Especially when they're like, look at this weird fucking thing that lived in the ocean that nobody knew about because of a tsunami or some shit. Or like, at some point, we're going to explore the deepest, darkest trenches and be like, eldritch gods! I mean, I'm just saying, you don't know what fucking is in the ocean. You don't know. You don't know. You can't see it. You don't know. Fucking, no. Sorry, freaks me out. It's not. It's not. You're gonna drown. Look. Just, you know, I mean, I also grew up in Florida, where there were alligators everywhere, and it was like, before you get in your pool, check to make sure there's no alligators in it. Like, shit, you know, I mean, your pool should be safe. It's like screened in on your patio, but no, just check, just because you never fucking know. Like, but then you're gonna go in the ocean? Fuck that shit. Nah. Or like a lake. Nope. You can't see that shit. I mean, like, it's fine if you're going, like, you know, waist deep and you're like, okay, I can see my feet and everything. Cool, I'm not going that far. Fine. But, like, I'm just gonna go swim out into the middle of the ocean. Oh, there's that riptide. Never mind. Fuck no. Terrifying. Nope. This is almost scarier than clowns. No, never mind. Clowns are scarier. But still. Look, that's why I stay in my house, okay? Like, it's not safe in here either, but... Oh, that it is. Okay, I don't know why my brain could not read that is it. And I was like, what? And it's that it is. Because I'm too, like, freaked out about thinking of something grabbing me while I'm swimming in the ocean. Or, like, fish pee in the ocean. Like, you know what? Anyway, people probably pee in the ocean. Gross. That it is. And though I reckon it'd be boring if I were alone. Really? I used to swim alone all the time. I should have known to expect this. What do you mean? My muscles tightened hearing the tone of his voice soften. Let me rephrase it. I want to come here again with you. I tried to move back, but the waves pushed against me, bringing me forward to him. Okay, this is like where the waves are like not trying to drown you. They're like, psh, shove you into your man. You're like, it was the waves. And he's like, I mean, I know, but like, cool. So like, okay. This ocean probably isn't scary, but the real one, fuck that shit. It's trying to kill you. Whoa. Oh, hi. I knew we were going to get a sexy beach CG. Oh, look at his arms wrapped around. Hi. Although, you know, I don't hate her giant saucer eyes in it. Because, like, sometimes you're like, okay, she looks a little plastic. There's no emotion on her face. It's literally like, kind of has that look still. Where you're like, it's a little... But there's something about it that I don't hate. You know what I mean? Because she's supposed to be shocked, but she doesn't look shocked. She looks like dead in the face. Like, oh, I am shocked. Like you're a shocked Barbie doll. You know what I mean? You get what I'm, you know? But I don't hate it in this one. Like, I don't. It does distract a little bit from his pretty profile, but I don't hate her giant eyes in this one. Sometimes they're good, and sometimes you're like, she looks a little derpy. It's also the non-existent eyebrows. Pencil thin eyebrows are just little definition and want to help, but I don't hate her. You know what I mean? Like some of them, you're like, no, get the MC out of it. But sometimes, as we've seen in all of them, sometimes she looks really cute. Like this one is like, I am a doll. I have no emotion on my face, but it's still cute. And then other times you're like, okay, could you have put something on her, some kind of emotion on her face other than like shocked Barbie surprise, like giant eyes. I look plastic. I mean, no, they joke about her being like a fake, like being a doll and everything, but like you didn't have to draw her that way in every CG. She's got more expressions in her sprites, which is sad. You know what I mean? So sometimes I feel like they did her a little dirty, but she has one of those like almost lifeless faces, but it's not quite. I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. It's not like, oh, it's a shocked face. It's like, it's almost dead in the eyes, but I don't hate it. So, I don't know. It's one of the few times where they've done that to her and like, she actually still looks cute. Anyway. Cordoba's hand was on my back before I had the chance to recover. If you don't mind, can we stay like this a while longer? Well, but we were so close I could feel him breathing. I'd never been so close to someone's face before, especially in this situation. I went to see a dance last time. Huh? You were there? I knew our dear Olympia was beautiful on stage, but seeing you here, enjoying yourself like this, makes you more beautiful than ever. Let's just stay here and let him tell us this. Feels nice. You look perfect under the sun. His eyes narrowed and his lips pressed against my hair. It was only my hair, but my whole body grew impossibly hot. You're so pure and beautiful. I know when they say, like, pure, it's supposed to be because she's, like, pure white or whatever, but it's so weird because it's, like, It's always like, you're pure, like, you're innocent, you're untainted, no one's touched you. And it's like, that's just kind of a gross thing. Because it just brings to mind, like, it makes you think about, like, when women were sold, like, property, my pure virginal daughter for your 3 cows. And you're like, what the fuck? Like, you know what I mean? Like, there was always too much in history put on, like, oh, women being virtuous and pure and chaste. And like, you know what? Go fuck yourself. So it just made it like a gross thing. Like, you're like, oh, that's something creepy. There's just something that just feels icky about it. So, like, every single time one of our lovely love interests says something about, like, you're so pure, it's like, and I feel like I've been good about not being like, yeah, I don't like it when you say that. It just feels weird. I don't like it. Like, they're not trying to be creepy, but it's just too much of a history behind, that. There's too much weight behind that, like, when you say it, it just hits the wrong note. It's like, no, please stop. I know that's not where he's going, but you know what I mean? You're like, I know that's not what you mean, Kurdoba, but at the same time, ugh. Like, why do they all do it? Stop it. You're so pure and innocent. Oh, gross. Like, you know what? It just rubs me the wrong way. Stop rubbing my fur the wrong way, goddammit. Anyway. Hey, your hair shines so brilliantly. I can barely keep my eyes open. No, don't close your eyes. But looking at you makes me fall for you even more. How is that bad? You're pure all over, including your heart. And the complete opposite of my color. See, like, he's now, I mean, like I said, he was referring more to, like, how pure white she is. Not like, oh, you're pure and chaste. But it's because it has that connotation that you just, like, when they say it, you're like, ugh. I don't think that's where you were going, but it's just like a knee-jerk reaction where you just want to kick him a little, and you're like, I know you weren't trying to be like that, but it's just, I can't help it. You know? It's like when the doctors do that little, like, knee hammer to you, and you're just like, woo, look, reflexes! Like, it's just a reflex, you know? And, like, he meant it more innocently, like, you are, like, so goddamn white. Like, girl, you are basically transparent. Like, you know? Are you sure you're fine being with me? I hate that you hate yourself so much, Kurdoba. Or you just feel so ashamed because people have made you feel this way. It's sad, because you were just a lovely human being. You were lovely. You are actually beautiful. He's not the most beautiful. That's Akaza and Kurdoba. Like, and then, like, Riko's adorable. And then, like, but he is one of the beautiful ones. You were up there. You were top tier. You're actually kind of more, like, handsome than beautiful. And, like, you know, but, like, it's just different descriptors, but you're still fucking love, and you're just a goddamn amazing human being. Like, you're just awesome. Personality-wise, you know, you are, like, again, like I said, if you were a real person, absolutely, it'd be like your personality that wins me. Also, you're nice to look at, so, winner. You know. As much as I love the robots and the assholes and the flirty whore, I mean, he's a little flirty and a little bit of a whore, but, you know, I feel like Yosuga was almost a little bit more like, well, Yosuga was a little dangerous, probably a little stabby. Maybe not to me, but other people, definitely. I mean, we saw that. I love those characters in Otomes, but, like, in real life, you'd be like, you're a little dangerous, and you're probably, like, dealing drugs or some, I don't know, like, no offense, Yosuga, you're pretty to look at, but you're dangerous, and you're probably into some shady shit. Not down with that in real life. And, you know, the robots are great in Otome games because you can crack their little shell, but in real life, a robot is always going to be a fucking robot. Okay? You're like, need someone with a little more, like, spark that's literally not, like, going to electrocute me. Robots spark, you know what I'm saying? But, like, and Kuroba's, like, perfect. Your personality, like, you're a little flirty, you're a little jokey, you're smart, you're really sweet. Like, all of those things, you're, like, perfect person. Real life, right here. Yeah. So it bothers me that you hate on yourself so much because other people made you feel like shit about yourself. Like, I don't like it. Stop it. That's why you need us. We will just make sure that you know that you are loved and you are amazing. God damn it. Anyway. I couldn't believe he was asking me that now. He was raised in the Yomi orphanage, then grew up to work at the hospital before becoming deputy director of the Kotowari. How could he still doubt himself? Right? See? Because of what this damn world did to this poor man. I don't think there's anything wrong with your color. Your hair, your eyes, your skin. Everything about you is beautiful. Girl, good job. Then suddenly, his eyes began to glimmer. Oh, I thought your eyes were black, but in the light I can see some gold in there. It's so pretty. It's funny because they don't show his eyes being dark. They show them like as like a golden color. It's interesting. I'm sorry. Should I not have said that? No, I'm happy you did. I was just surprised since no one's ever said that to me before. I gazed into his eyes again. The black and gold glistened in the sun. I get that though, because most people, like, my eyes are like so dark, but like in incandescent lighting and well, just certain lighting, even you can, if you just look at them, they look like freaking black. Okay. But when you actually look closely at them, they are more red than black. They're like a red-brown color. You know what I mean? So it's really, when I always like, kind of like my eye, like if you look at them, like, wow, they're actually like a red-brown. Like they're not just like black. They're not just brown. They have like red, like tinted. Like that's just the hue of brown. It's got a red tinge to it. But like no one's ever really noticed that. And it's funny because actually there was only one person I think I've ever even dated that looked and was like, their eyes are actually like more like red tinted. I was like, thank you. He also used to joke and call my eyes shark eyes. Because like sharks look like they have no pupils and my eyes are that dark that like you can't sometimes see my pupils. But like, yeah, it's just, but like, it's when people notice things like that, you're like, see, but like nobody believes me because everybody just looks, no, they're not. Look into my eyes. Get the fuck up in this shit. Look at them. Like they're fucking red. Like, I mean, it does depend on like light. If I'm out in natural sunlight, yes, they definitely look more red. If I look in the, I mean, they do when you're looking like, but if the room is dark, of course they're going to look darker. It'd be the same thing with somebody blue eyes. Like, oh, your eyes are dark. And then in the sun, you're like, oh, actually they're lighter than they look. It's all light and shadows, but anyway. So I get that feeling when you're like, wow, no one's ever noticed that before. Thank you. You know? Anyway. I reached my hand out to touch his cheek. Oh, really, Doma? My fingers froze in place. Since that day, I'd carried my sin with me. But you're already touching him now, so is it okay for me to touch him? I didn't feel the same fear from back then. All I felt was happiness that lulled me into a drunken stupor. He won't break if I touch him, right? I won't bite, I promise. Well, that's unfortunate, because sometimes that can be fun. What? Nothing? I didn't... Shh. Shh. Unable to resist his sweet, gentle voice, I softly touched his cheek. I can hear people out in the hallway. Like, walking up and down the stairs, so it's really awkward reading this, because then you're like, if they're standing outside, they can hear me reading this, and it could be completely awkward. He wasn't breaking. Hi! What you doing, little bird? I was filled with such unspeakable relief that my eyes welled up with tears. Why do you look like you want to cry, Olympia? Wait, that isn't my true name. We're gonna tell him this early? I mean, I don't know actually what chapter we're in. I know we're in the Sunlight and Darkness chapter, I just don't know what number it is, you know? I'd always been anxious. Anxious about whether I could love someone. Anxious about what it meant to love someone. But now I knew. I want you to call me by my real name. Spacey. Spacey. Oh, kissing in the ocean. That's so cute, actually, even though it's slightly terrifying, but it's okay. He'll protect us. Just as his eyes began to gleam again, I felt something touch me. His soft lips pressed against mine. I could feel the caress of his lips moving gently with my own. I'm glad you didn't bite me. I wouldn't do that to you. I might, actually. And then, can I kiss you again? And differently this time. What do you mean? I'm not moaning. He kissed me with such a deep passion, it felt like my lips were going to melt. My mind went blank as an indescribable sensation spread from the heat of his lips. Does our hair start to turn this now? Because this is usually what happens. I'm not moaning and awing, but there you go. There's lots of moaning going on. Yeah, here we go. Like, I knew it. I'm like, usually when we, like, first have our little, like, tongue bath over here where hair starts to turn colors. Before I knew it, my body was on the verge of losing strength. My legs shook and my fingertips were tingling. Love, what I was experiencing was beyond that. I think that should do it for now. Is he going to see our hair and freak out? I suddenly heard the sound of the waves again. I stared at him as if I just woke up from a dream, and he's probably like, wasn't your hair white before? What did you think of our first kiss? Everyone else is just like, oh, and he's just like, so? He just hits different. I don't know. It tasted like the ocean, and our hair's like gray now. Does he not notice? Well, I did dive underwater earlier. I'm sorry if it wasn't to your taste. And next time I'll kiss you after having something sweet. I don't mind the taste. Really. Did he just say next time? Noticing that I was already looking forward to it made me blush hard. I quickly composed myself to wring the water from my hair when... Hey, your hair... Huh? Your hair is... gray. I quickly looked down at my hair. It's so funny that this is the only time we've ever gotten, like, a CG with her hair like that. Like, a little, like, it's not really a full CG. I mean, I guess it is, but it's like, they've never done this with any of... It would have been interesting if they did. In everyone, and they showed this, but, like, if the hair was a different color each time. So at the end, you look through and you're like, look at all the CGs of all of our hair. I don't know. If you're going to show it once, you should do it for all of them. Thanks. I'm going to need you to go back, game devs, and do this for everything, please. Thanks. I quickly looked down at my hair. It was supposed to be white, but it looked gray instead. It's not the light playing tricks on us, right? It looks darker now. Well... And that's right. Let me tell you something special. We girls on Denyo Island have a wonderful secret. Wait a minute. Is this what my mother wanted to tell me? Huh. And the color... It's back to normal again. I'm not seeing things, am I? I'm sure it was... Maybe you were. Perhaps some kind of illusion. Why don't you just tell him the truth? You know colors look darker when they're wet. It's a lot easier to see since my hair's so white. I can tell he's not buying it. I'm not sure myself what happened, so I can't explain this very well. You're right. I must be seeing things. Cordoba? His voice, terribly pained, lingered in my ears. Because he feels like you're hiding something, you know, because you kind of are. We should dry off our clothes. I have a hideout nearby. You see over there? It's that small house. No, don't worry. I'm sure my clothes will dry off quickly. But you'll catch a cold like that. Something is definitely wrong with Kuroba. Was it because of what happened to my hair? It's funny, everybody else freaks out and runs, and he's just like, your hair is dark, and you're like, it's probably because it's wet or something? I don't know. And he's like, sad. How about we head to Yomi and get something to eat? I'm sure our clothes will dry by then. Huh? Alice, Lord Yosuga to prepare a room for you! Juliet, let's get things ready! It's so funny. She's like, no, we should just go to my hideout alone because they're preparing a room for us there. Oh, wait, shit happens at the hideout. Interesting. What's the matter? Is there a problem with going to the bathhouse? Not at all. She was joking, right? Things won't happen just from going to the bathhouse together, right? I cannot wait. We walked to the shrine gate under the afternoon sun to head down to Yomi. I was elated in that moment when we kissed in the blindingly bright ocean. But now... I haven't seen him like this before. Is there something wrong with what happened to my hair? Cordoba, is there a problem? You don't look well. Huh? No, I was just thinking about bathing suits. I felt extremely close to him back in the ocean. Physically and emotionally, I'm sure. That's what you meant. It almost felt as though we were melding into one. But now we felt so distant. Maybe I should talk to him about my hair. But it'd be embarrassing if I was mistaken. I tried to find a topic that would break the ice. By the way, Cordoba, do you really live in that laboratory of yours? Huh? Yeah, I guess you could say that. I had a place back in my hospital days, but I rarely used it, so I moved out. And the Kotowari has a dormitory and a bath that I can use there. Yeah, I usually eat down in Yomi. They serve some of the best food you can find. The food is exquisite. It almost feels as though they're always coming up with new recipes. Do you have a favorite? I can eat anything, but if I had to choose one thing, I guess it'd be laksa? Laksa? Laksa, a spicy noodle soup. It's Kuroba's favorite dish served at Chikinjo. Spicy noodle soup. Sounds good. I want some. Laksa? I've never heard of that before. How about we go and... Oh, what did Himuka do? Hey, have you seen Himuka? Do you know where I can find him? Riku ran toward us with a serious look on his face. I don't like the looks of this. Oh, well, I mean, Himuka does do the, like, death things, but, like, like when Riku runs up, have you seen him? Are you after him, or do you need his help? Because that makes a difference. What is it? Did something happen? I'm here. Hey, we haven't seen him except for, like, the common route, like, ever. He's, like, never here. He appeared as if out of thin air. It's funny, I remember Himuka. Oh, wait, by the way, he's here, so we have to look at Captain Skull's over here. The captain and Himuka. I just can't help it. It's the funniest thing, so I'm glad he showed up again. I can't remember Tokasada's fucking name. He's at least in other routes popping up, and I'm like, what the fuck? But I remember Himuka, and he's never around, which is kind of funny. I mean, if he just didn't have the saucer eyes, he'd be beautiful, but he's still, like, you know, he's got the slightly 12-year-old face. He's probably, like, 300, though, or some shit, but... I love how Riku stands with his hand like that. He appeared as if out of thin air. He closed in without making a sound. Work? And that's right. Someone jumped off the top of Tenshin Hospital. A person from the Yellow was infected by Haku recently. He requested the older medicine, but his wife asked the doctor to administer Nei instead. What? And the symptoms of Haku subsided, but his color traits turned black. He was distraught and jumped from the rooftop. That's really sad, and that's gotta make Kuroba feel like shit about himself. Like, wow, that guy would rather jump off a building than, you know, have his hair turn black. But again, if that was the gist of it, it was all just, like, that pure surface level. But it's really not. You know, they want you to be like, oh my god, it's devastating! Well, again, you're gonna throw that man into Yomi, like, and take away everything he's ever known just because of his color. Which is also wrong, but you can't blame a person for knowing that and going, well, fuck that shit. I don't want my whole entire life to change. If it was for the better, everyone, like, if all of a sudden it was like, oh, hey, you could take some medicine and then magically your colors would be perfect and we're gonna just give you a fortune. Everyone would be like, sign me up for that shit. You know what I mean? Like, oh, your color traits are gonna change and then we're gonna rip everything away from you and treat you like garbage. Nobody would want that. Like, you know? It's not like, oh, well, your color traits might change and then your life goes on, but maybe the people on the surface are shallow bastards. Yeah, that would suck, but then you'd be like, well, fuck all of you shallow bastards, you know? I kind of wish that they had just left it like that instead of being like Yosuga, like, oh, her hair turned black, so now she's an outcast. It would be more like, oh, well, her hair turned black, and maybe people are just whispering on the surface, but her life, generally, like, she stays living with her family, everything's fine, but then maybe people just shun her. Then I'd be a little bit more like, what a bunch of dicks! Or this guy, you know, oh, his hair started to turn black, so he jumped off a roof. He'd rather be dead than have black hair. And you're like, what a douche. But, yeah. Well, he jumped off a roof because his hair started to turn black, and we were basically going to strip him of everything and send him down to Yomi like he did something wrong. You're basically sending him to prison for no reason other than his hair turning color. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's some fucked up shit, but I can't blame individual people. I blame the entire society. So, anyway. But it does make you feel like poor Cordoba's like, I'm trying to feel good about myself, and people would rather jump off buildings than have black hair. Like, wow. Like, well, I mean, thanks to you, I'm close to coming up with a new medicine for Haku, and the results should be in by tonight. Drama music. Of all times. The doctors are afraid they may contract the disease. Himuka, it's your job to take care of the dead. Yes, and that is my role. I'll go too. I couldn't say I was eager to go myself. I watched the three run off, when suddenly I felt someone tap me on the shoulder from behind.
There's no need to worry.
But
I heard some commotion, and sure enough. However, what you heard is not unusual. Yes, you will soon grow accustomed to such a horrible thing. When those classified as primary or secondary colors die from natural causes, it's under the jurisdiction of the blue. But when it's a suicide, they summon the Undertaker to handle the situation. And they say those who commit suicide are not allowed into heaven, and those nearby will be cursed by their sin.
that's horrible. Yeah, I mean, like, if you want to believe that people who commit suicide don't go to heaven, that's fine. You can believe whatever you want, but, like, I was next to this guy, and he killed himself, and now I'm gonna be cursed. Dude, wow! Way to make it all about you. Like, the fuck? I love how people are like that. How could they do that to me? Did you maybe think that they killed themselves because they were distraught and they had emotional problems that they couldn't handle, and it's really not about you, it's kind of about them, it's their life? I always think that's very funny when people, like, think about that. Like, yes, we're all selfish human beings, but super selfish people are the first ones to be like, it's so selfish that person killed themselves and didn't think about me or whatever, anybody else. And it's like, yeah, I mean, because they're thinking about their problems and their pain and their inability to, like, fix that. Whether it's they don't want to or can't go and get help. Whether no amount of pills and medicines that they've taken have worked. Like, whatever it is, like, yes, it is selfish, but your entire life is about you. Your quest to be happy in your life. Your desire to do something for yourself. You know? Most people don't like, I'm gonna have children because I'm hoping that it's selfish. I like kids. I want to bring kids in the room. My kids, like, but it's kind of a selfish thing. Like, everything we do is selfish on some level. So it's just as selfish to be mad at someone for not thinking about you when their life is feeling fucking miserable. Like, you should be like, oh my god, I feel bad that they didn't talk to me, or I couldn't have helped, or like, whatever, not, how dare they not think of me? What the I'm sorry, I just never understood that. I just never understood people who thought that way, and it's like, you're a little hypocritical to be mad at someone for being selfish when you're being selfish right now. Like, do you not get that? Anyway. Lots of weird shit coming up in this one. Let's go back to the scary ocean. Anyway. That's horrible. It is. Again. I'm gonna get cursed because wow, dude. Way to make it about you. That man just jumped off a building. Maybe let's focus on him and less on you?
The people fear such curses, but they cannot leave the body and allow Haku to spread. So they push responsibility onto the Undertaker. Our dear surface dwellers love to find a reason to loathe anything.
You ain't wrong, Yosuga.
Really? Selfish indeed.
Yeah, again. It was ridiculous that such a thing was true. I was so close to saying it aloud. How hard could it be to offer a prayer to those who have passed, regardless of the situation, right?
I'm sorry to share such a negative thought, but consider it another fact of life on the island. I know this is bad timing, but here.
He gave a gentle smile and handed me a small bottle.
It's the sleep aid you requested. Why not return to the manor and allow it to ease your mind? It will seem as though he's there, embracing you.
I love how he's winking as he says it. I mean, that's just a standard Yosuga sprite, but it's just perfect where they place it.
I'll let Camellia know your future husband is off to work. We can celebrate you two later. Everyone's congratulating you and Kuroba.
Yosuga's smile was warm and kind. You're like, I don't know if Kuroba really knows that I want to choose. Maybe we shouldn't. But something didn't feel right. Thank you very much. I'll head back to the manor then. Like the way Kuroba was acting about the hair thing. Oh, we're having a slight little fight here. It's not really a fight, it's just a misunderstanding. It's one of those miscommunications. Ugh. I feel like I'm going to use the whole bottle just to try to get to sleep tonight. I had sprayed the mist on a number of times already. Well, okay, here's the worst thing. It smells like Kuroba. Is that going to help you sleep, or is that going to make you, like, frustrated as shit? And you're like, smells like you, I can't sleep. Because now you're thinking about him. The aroma dissipating quickly was both good and bad. It's not the light playing tricks on us, right? It looks darker now. Maybe he thought when she was like, no, my hair isn't gray, that we were freaking out because our hair was turning black like everybody else does. And he, you know what I mean? Because maybe, like, I'm not sure if it was like, oh, you're hiding something from me, and okay, I feel weird about this. Or if it was because she wasn't sure and she didn't want to explain, like, oh, it's soulmate. That's an awkward thing. Like, this is like our second date, so like maybe you shouldn't bring up the whole soulmate shit. You know what I mean? Like, pace yourself a little. So instead of saying that, she's like, I'm just playing tricks. And maybe he's thinking that she's like, oh God, no, anything but having my hair turn dark. You know what I mean? Because so many people are like that that's got to be a sore spot for him, no matter what he says. Like, well, yep, laugh it off, but kills me inside a little every time, you know? Maybe he's a little overly sensitive to it. Oh, sweetie, no, I just didn't want to say that maybe you're my soulmate because I thought that might scare you off. Cool if my hair turns black. I'd look wicked freaking awesome with black hair. Look, my pasty-ass skin, totally goth. Well, you know. I couldn't get Kuroba's expression out of my mind. Or also his shock, like, wait, what? And everybody else has been shocked, and, like, she's always been like, why are they scared? You know? Obviously none of that's happened in this round, but you know what I'm saying. You're right. I must be seeing things. Brushing my hair didn't do anything. My hair was as white as usual. Oh, when you and your soulmate find each other and fall in love, you will... It can't be... Or maybe... I buried my face in my pillow, remembering the sight of him running off. Anxiety burned in the back of my mind, making me feel restless. And that's right. Someone jumped off the top of Tension Hospital. Someone's life ended just like that. He chose death over having a different color. One thing I heard about before just happened. Kuroba spent all his time developing a cure, but didn't make it in time. If that person waited one more night, there could have been a better treatment for him. Yeah, but how does he know that? It's not like Kuroba was like, hey guys, I'm working on a medicine, and they were like, one more day. You know what I mean? Like, Kuroba knew. That man wouldn't have known. Well, to be entirely honest, I hate people who don't treat life with respect. I can only imagine how disappointed he must be feeling. Kuroba, his name was the most precious thing to me now. I hope I can see him tomorrow. I wanted to see him and cheer him up. I wanted to see him and have him smile like he always did. I wanted to get rid of this feeling of fear building up inside of me. I want to see him as soon as possible. Today I experienced what happiness could be. What would tomorrow bring? You experience what happiness can be, but now it's like also very weighted, and you're like, I feel depressed right now. Warning. Oh no. That doesn't bode well. I mean, warnings rarely ever bode well. Danger.
Lady Olympia, are you ready? There's a Tanji of the Red here to see you.
Huh? Tanji?
I'm sorry to bother you, Lady Olympia. I should have sent a messenger ahead of time, but I had to apologize to you as soon as I could. I came to take the letter. And can you deliver this to my foolish son? I wrote it before reading his, but I could imagine what he wrote. Please, will you take it to him?
He then bowed deeply. Leave it to me. I'll make sure it gets to him. As I took the letter, Tanji's shoulders seemed to droop slightly.
I understand the anger that is inside him. Thanks to Lord Jigen, we have been freed from the curse, no matter what any other color may say.
Lord Jigen?
I suppose this is something unfamiliar to other color classes. Lord Jigen bestowed upon us the knowledge of extracting metals from the cinnabar found in the Red District.
Yeah, but like, what the hell did Lord Hiroko have to... Why did he hate the red people so much? I'm just serious. You know what I mean? You go, oh, the red is a primary god. Oh, but they're cursed. Like,
I heard from my mother that it happened around the time I was born. Has it really been 50 years already?
okay, so he's not like old man, but like he's got old man voice, whatever.
Lord Jigen drifted to this island and he was naturalized as a red. He then gave us knowledge that saved us from
Ages of scorn. I mean, in games, technically, if you're over 30, you're fucking dead. So, I mean, I guess it's fine, right?
the red have been able to flourish, and we owe it all to him. No words can express our gratitude for all he's done.
Here's the funniest part, though. Wait, let's just back this shit up a second. I heard from my mother it happened around the time I was born. 50 years already. Lord Jigen bestowed upon us the knowledge of extracting metals around the time I was born. 50 years ago. Really? Lord Jigen, do you age? What's going on with that? We know Tsukuyomi didn't, because Fuso was like, oh, Tsukuyomi, you look the same as ever. You haven't changed a day in 40 fucking years. And Tsukuyomi's like, But you already knew Tsukuyomi was like fucking crazy. Well, yeah, but like weird, strange. You know, something about him is like off. You know, you're like, he's special. But like all the other outsiders, it's been 50 years. Does Lord Jigen really look like he like 70? Because I'm going with like, no. If you were like, oh, he's like 40 or 50, you're like, okay, sure. Fine. But like, he didn't roll up on this island like at 10. He was already older. You know what I mean? He had to have been at least like, you'd think it maybe 20 when he rolled him on this island. So he like 70? 70 plus? I'm just saying, either the game just does not know how to math, or like they're gonna be like, Doma's been around for like, I don't know, 400 or 500 years. Wait, what? Doma's like, I'm never gonna pass on the yellow because I'm never gonna die. I'm immortal. But I'm just saying, the outsiders are like, well, I mean, they're already technically dead. But does that mean Tokusada's never gonna age? Because it's interesting. Because Jigen and Doma, because like this is implying that Jigen is like way fucking older than he looks. Wait a minute. Curious, right? Tsukuyomi we already know, but he also talks about humans and acts like he's fucking immortal, so we're gonna put him in the little special pile. But like, you figured Jigen and Doma were just they're outsiders, but they still aged like normal people, and yet doesn't seem like that's the case. So then if Tokusada is from outside, when he rolled up here a few years ago, has he aged in the last 2 years? He was like, oh, I'm 17 now. He was 15 when he got here. But I mean, I guess between 15 and 17, you probably don't change too much. You could, you know, depending on where you are in puberty and everything like that. You could have been like 15 and you're like, hey, what's up? Are you gonna have a voice like that? You know what I mean? Maybe your voice didn't drop. I don't know. But like, it's not like he's gonna go from like where it's been 15 years and you're like, shouldn't you have changed a little bit? Well, I used to look like a lolly boy over there, Tokusada. You're 30 now. You know what I'm saying? That's some sus-ass shit. So, again, does the game not know how to math? And we're supposed to just be like, whatever, don't pay attention to it. Or is that important to the overarching plot and the secrets of the outsiders? I'm just saying. Anyway.
The red have been able to flourish, and we owe it all to him. No words can express our gratitude for all he's done.
And again, he didn't roll up on this island when he was 10 and know this shit. I'm just saying, he had to have been like, you know. Even if he was only like 15 like Tokusada, he'd be 65. Does he look 65? Because, no. So that's how the Red's curse was lifted. All the more reason to respect Lord Jigen. Looks like everything is good. I better take this to Shoujo right away. Happy that Tanji actually wrote a letter, I left the manor and went straight to the Kotowari. If there are any letters for me to deliver from Yomi, I'll have to come back, but I'm sure they'll understand. I looked at my bag with the letter inside, then slowed to a stop. Kuroba wasn't there today. Maybe he hasn't returned from the hospital yet. As I gave a great sigh, he was sitting alone on a bench in the plaza. The expression on his face was severe. I could tell he wasn't happy, even from a distance. It's the first time I've seen him so tense. Seeing how irritated and deep in thought he was, I hesitated approaching him, but then I'll be sad thinking you avoided him. must be about what happened yesterday. Maybe he's regretting that the medicine couldn't have been completed sooner. Or maybe... You're right. I must be seeing things. Unsure of what to do, I watched him from behind a tree when...
Oh, Kuroba, will you be returning to the hospital?
Kuroba looked away without saying a word.
Seems as though you're alone today. Where is our fair white maiden?
Hiding behind a tree! It's okay, don't mind me. Come on. We're not really that close. You know what I mean? This is gonna be that misunderstanding, like, we're not that close, but I thought you loved me. And it's really just he's trying to protect you from Sakio, because if he's like, yeah, no, I love her, it's amazing, then, like, he's setting himself up for heartbreak, because he probably still doesn't think he's worthy of you. You know what I mean? Even though he wants to be. You know what I mean? And even though you were having a grand old time on the beach and he kissed you, he's still like, yeah, are you sure that this is okay? Like, he's still, like, insecure in that. But also, he warned us, even in Yosuga's route, like, watch out for Sakio, because he's a shady motherfucker. You know what I mean? So I feel like he'd be like, well, we're not that close. Sakio, get out of here. You know what I mean? Thinking that that's better, but I don't know. Wouldn't it be better to be like, you touch her, you die, Sakio. That's how much I love her. Because otherwise you're like, we're not close, whatevs. Anything could happen to that bitch. And Sakio's gonna go kidnap me. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes you wonder, like, is it better to admit you're close to someone or worse? Like, but anyway.
Come now. Knowing you, I'm sure you befriended her for your research.
I quickly covered my mouth to keep from making a sound.
Let us not forget what happened with the death of the Yellow Noble yesterday. The people desire a more potent medicine to fight this disease.
Yeah, so then you take my blood and then they get bleached out white like Haku's already doing to them, and I'm sure they'd hate that too. But then I guess that'd be a step up, because they'd be like, ha, I was yellow and now I am of the white. Ha, I am better. They already look at us like we're a freak, but...
The women of the white from that island are rather interesting. I would not be surprised if a cure could be found in their blood. And yet Lord Doma of the Yellow has always denied my request to have her come to the hospital.
See? Doma's got our back, girl. This is where she's like, I'm surprised because Doma hates me. What?
He cannot be trusted. I'm sure he has a secret related to the white bloodline and is seeking to oust Elder Sister and Lord Jigen from power.
Hey, don't you talk about Daddy Doma like that. I'm rolling my sleeves. We're going to have it out. Put up your dukes, man. Let's go, Sakio. Them's fighting words. Don't you dare insult Doma. I'm sorry, but I'm not into politics.
Or perhaps you've already made your discovery. Will you be ingratiating yourself to the Yellow and Lord Doma?
Oust? Medicine? What is he talking about?
The children you care for in Yomi must also be quite useful to your research. Kuroba, I'm counting on you. Please do not betray me again.
I need to take care of some things. Kuroba quickly stood up from the bench and walked away. It's funny because you're going to hear this and he's like, what? I don't use the kids as research, but like, let Sakio think whatever he's thinking. You know what I mean? Because fighting with Sakio and being like, fuck you, you know I don't use kids like that, you asshole. It's not going to convince him. He is convinced that you are like, you know what I mean? Shady like him. Nothing's going to fix that. Unable to muster the strength to follow him, I quickly walked over to a nearby fiacre.
You heard everything, didn't you, Olympia? This is fated work.
There's no such thing as love in this world. He did it on purpose. Saying all these things. Mother, I must be having a nightmare. The things he said were all lies, right? Though I tried to calm down by looking out at the shimmering sea in the afternoon light, I couldn't stop my body from shaking. I was filled with such happiness yesterday in that very sea, but now... See? Like, look, does he look like he likes 70? Because he doesn't. If you were like 40, okay. But like 70? I don't know, dude. You look amazing for 70 if you're supposed to be like 70. I'm just saying. A good afternoon, Olympia. Lord Jigen, I feel like his voice is all over the place, but like, whatever. Have you found anything good today? Nothing yet. You were gazing out at Tenyo Island. Do you still wish to return? Well, yes, but many things came to mind. Kuroba and the Yellow Noble's suicide. You came from beyond this ocean, Lord Jigen. What are your thoughts on this island? Is there anything troubling you? Have you heard about the Yellow Noble committing suicide yesterday? Is there anything troubling you? Yeah, how did you end up here 50 years ago and yet you don't look like you're even close to 50, buddy? Kind of curious about that math. And he's like, anyway. I have received a report on it. An unfortunate incident indeed. Is it that hard for the people of Tengu Island to accept having their color traits turn black? Is it something so detestable that they would actually rather choose death? Jigen looked at Tenyo Island with sad eyes. Because, well, the thing is like, with him, you're like, what color is your hair? Like, Doma's hair is fucking jet black, which is funny, because, like, he'd be like, I feel like Doma would also be offended. Everyone's like, he killed himself because he was turning black, and Doma's like, yeah, my hair is black. Why is that a problem? Look at it, it's beautiful. Stop it. But, you know, they jam that crystal in you, which explains why Doma's hair's, like, yellow at the tips. Like, oh, I got that yellow crystal jammed in me, but his hair is still black from natural color, right? But, like, with Jigen, like, what color is his hair? Because you see the red hints in it that are, like, probably just, like, you know, the coloring and the light, whatever. But it's like, so you're just like, is it supposed to have some red hints into it because he's got the red crystal in him? Because we know that's what happened in Tokusada's route, right? Because, like, Tokusada, again, has brown hair, and there's a little bit of green in it, but I guess you're supposed to think that, like, well, that's either, like, the game highlighting it. You know how, like, in games you're like, well, their hair's purple, and their hair's blue, and it's really just, those are just supposed to be different shades of black. But, like, it'd be boring if it was all just black, because you'd be like, well, they all look the same, so that's when they do the purple tint, or the blue tint, or that person's got brown, because, you know, could just be darker brown, you know what I mean? But, like, Tokusada's hair's with the green, you don't know if it's just like, oh, it's shading because that's the class that he's in, or like, is it legit, like, because he had the green crystal put in him that his hair starts to take on a green tint, you know? But, like, Jigen is like, is your hair supposed to be like, because your hair looks gray. Which could be because you're old. I mean, you're supposed to, I mean. But, like, you don't seem like you're, like, 70. You don't act like it. You've got, like, teeny tiny lines. Oh, look, you got some eye bags. But that's like, I mean, most people get those when they just start getting into their 30s and shit. So, like, I don't know. According to this game logic, I'm like 120. Like, what the fuck? Like, I'm just saying, like, so, like, or is his hair supposed to be maybe more like a blonde color? And it's got the red, I don't know, like a light brown maybe? Well, if they all came from Japan, their hair should all be black, to be honest with you, or like darker brown. But his could be gray because he's old. I don't know. But you think he'd be like, yeah, where I came from, most people had dark hair, so I don't get it. I don't get this bullshit on this island, you know? I don't know. The island where you were born was inhabited by only women of the white. I can see how the color class here may be foreign to you. There was a similar caste system where I came from as well. Yeah, but it wasn't, like, my hair is red, therefore I'm better. You mentioned you came from Japan, right? My teacher said there were no color classes there. True. Where I came from, there were no color classes as on Tengu Island. Still, my land would seem very odd to you. Those with hair and eyes of the same color battled each other endlessly for power, leading to the strong ruling over the weak. Yeah, and there was definitely, like, the monetary system. You've got money, you're better than the people who don't have money, you know? But it wasn't based on, like, well, you have blue hair, and even though your parents both had red hair, we gotta ship you over to somebody else. It wasn't like that. Wait, you were born to a rich family, but you're clearly poor, so we're gonna send you over. The fuck? You just look like you should be lower class, and we're gonna ship you off. Like, it's basically what's happening here, but it's just based on your hair color. That kind of sucks. Huh? That sounds horrible. This island sounds horrible, girl. Hierarchies and the desire to rule are born anywhere people gather, whether due to color or not. True. Isn't there any way people can live on equal terms? It is a difficult thing. While some people enjoy happiness, others are enduring misfortune. Suppose there are freshly steamed buns for sale. You pay money to buy them and are enjoying yourself when a hungry man approaches you. The man does not have a single coin on him. He may kill you in order to acquire your food and money. She's like, that seems stupid. He could just ask. The man satisfies his hunger, increasing his wealth, and gains happiness. But you will have suffered loss. I mean, he killed me, so yeah. I have seen such things happen before my eyes. I looked out at Tenyo Island, hoping the sight of it would give me the right words to say. You know what? We didn't have a problem with that on Tenyo Island. You know why? It was all women. Just saying. We didn't do any of that shit. We were like, everybody's equal. We're awesome. We didn't have this bullshit hierarchy crap because there was no men involved. There were no penises allowed on the island. Therefore, stupid shit didn't seem to happen. I'm just saying. Right, but women are the crazy ones. Look. Did you see war and shit happening on Tenyo Island? Did you see anybody, like... no, everyone was happy. We, like, just danced on the sand and shit, and everything was great. And then now look at the bullshit we live in. I'm just saying. This game is like, were you trying to say that game? Because it's kind of funny, actually. I believe there is no such thing as equality and happiness. I understood what Lord Jigen was saying. He's starting to sound more like Tsukiyomi now, but whatever. But I couldn't nod in agreement. Do I simply not know how things work? Well, nothing makes sense here, so. Is it because I'm too naive? No, it's because this place is stupid. As I lowered my head helplessly, Lord Jigen gently patted my shoulder. But I am not wise enough to simply give up and turn a blind eye to things. Until my very death. No, perhaps even after death. I will continue to struggle against it. Yeah, because you're already dead. We know that. You died and now you're here, so... weird. At least for now, I wish to relieve as much suffering from the people of this island while I still can. I think we're all dead. Maybe we're all dead. There are too many games where you start and you're like, are we all dead? That it's just become a trope now in my brain. And so when you watch things, you play games, and you're like, we're all dead, aren't we? And then you are, and you're like, I mean, it's not that much of a shock. Lord Jigen bestowed upon us the knowledge of extracting metals from the cinnabar found in the Red District. Again, remember, Tanji's only 50. And yet Jigen was around long before Tanji. The memory of Tanji's proud face came to mind. Since I arrived on this island, I have only worked and hoped for the best, but I doubt that it'll be resolved by my generation. Generation? Is this where you're going to figure out the math doesn't add up? I heard Lord Jigen arrived here a long time ago. How old is he exactly? Thank you! Okay! He looked a little older than Doma, but his wisdom was that of an immortal being. Yeah! It is difficult to make changes in an instant, but droplets of water can slowly bore through stone. Seeds that have been sown will one day sprout. I believe the future of this island can be changed in a similar manner. You shall find your soulmate, and together you will help me. I want to help however I can. The search has not been difficult, girl. Yeah, okay, right. Whoops. Hit the wrong button. Whoop. Okay, I was like, oh god, which button do I click? Don't click the wrong one. Yeah, there's no way she would say the search has been difficult. Because it has not. She's like, I was certain. Here he is. It was pretty fucking easy. 2 weeks and you found your soulmate? Jesus fucking Christ. I want to help as much as possible, but I still haven't found my husband. He's like, oh? Long ago, a shapeless god separated its spirit crystal into two to create man and women. Man and woman. Man and women. Man and woman. Wow, I can't read. You are the daughter of the Tenyo Island White. I'm sure you will find your soulmate. I do not have the ability to see into the future, but of this, I am certain. Thank you very much. Now then, I must be going. Do your best with your deliveries. Thank you. Lord Jigen always knows how to cheer me up. Which is why I feel like, are you suspicious because you seem so nice and wholesome, and it worries me. Just saying. I wonder if my father would have the same gentle smile if he were still alive. I feel like... you know exactly where this is going. It's just from me, I mean, not the game. But I really, if Doma ends up being her actual dad, I'm gonna laugh my fucking ass. Well, I'm gonna laugh my ass off for multiple reasons, but this is one of those. Because, like, I wonder if my father would have the same gentle smile. Meanwhile, she's like, God damn, Doma's a douche. I'm gonna go with no. That's why Doma took it. Oh, God, come on. If he's not her dad, it's gonna be... Again, I don't know how I really want it to work out, but I kind of want that because, again, I just really want that to be the case because I'm curious as to if people found that out at the end and had no clue and were like, what? And, like, just how much that broke your brain. Because I've been thinking it way too long, so it's funny. Oh, that's funny. That's a great line to end it on. I wonder if my father will have the same. I doubt it because I just feel like that's the game being like... You're thinking your father's gonna be nice, and it's actually Doma, and that's gonna be like a bitch slap to your face because you didn't see that coming, did ya? I kinda did. Oh, God. Anyway. Oh. But, again, he's her dad, not mine. He can be my daddy, but not my dad. You know what I mean? Everything I've said about Doma is gonna be wildly inappropriate if he's her father. Again, I'll be her stepmom then. Also, too bad. You can have Tokasada or Himuka, because the rest of them are coming to my man harem with Doma and Tsukiyomi, girl. I'm just saying. Have fun with that. She's fine. Anyway, I will see you guys next time. Remember to give the video a big thumbs up and subscribe to see more.